TNTMTheShow presents Comicast 315 with your host, Pablo Gunner, and I'm here to talk nerdy to you about this week's comics, December 6th comics. And here's the new webcam that's constantly in flux because I'm always moving. But anyways, here it is, and here I am to review comics, the comics for the week of December 6th. As I said, we have a grayscale buy, skim, pass, variations on the buy and skim, so it's strong buy, weak buy, strong skim, weak skim, then pass is pass. Then we also have terms like back and bag of the week, that's our best book of the week, B-Bow, and then there's a runner-up for the B-Bow. And then there's contender, so I'll be like, hey, contender, this is a contender for runner-up for B-Bow, or just contender, period. And that's it. I do have a tone this week, and yeah, I have a tone, and here is the tone for this week that I have. I don't believe I've used it before. If you know it, go ahead and feel free to guess it. Haven't been in the mood, I don't think, to share this, but I am now. So
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say.
If you know what it is, tell me. I'll hook you with the free digital comic code, which will probably be the comic code for runner-up or B-Bow. One of those. I saved the codes for one of those too. So, and if I save any other codes, I will give them after I announce the runner-up and B-Bow. So I am doing this late. Usually we do this on a Tuesday because that's my first day off, but it was my mom's birthday, so spent the whole day with her, and then we were actually about to record, and then my mom was like, hey, where are you? And I was like, you said we're not meeting until 7, and it's almost 6:30. It was like before 6:30. It was like 6:15. We were going to start early and get it knocked out. But that didn't work out. In fact, I was trying to get more tones on my phone, but that didn't work out. Otherwise, we probably could have knocked out at least half of the podcast with JD. But that's why he's not here. It's late at night. Because Wednesday turns out my brother's birthday, so hung out with him until I woke up, and then when I got home, then I was like, screw it, it's late, I'm gonna go hang out with my buddy. So with Slay J, actually, who's watching Walking Dead right now. So I have watched a couple episodes of Walking Dead. The new season, not impressed. It's okay. I thought it would be the best just because it's all out war, and it's not. Maybe just too hyped for me. I don't know. I will say, though, like Runaways is going really solid. It's going really good. And once again, I want to read the books. There's also, the X-Men, or Gifted at the X-Men. Gifted was really good. But I did feel like the finale was kind of weak. Like the episode before the finale, super awesome, super intense. I don't know, maybe because I watched the show I watched a few episodes all together, like 2 or 3 episodes, and then I watched the finale at home, which I usually don't do. And then so I was just distracted and not really paying attention. I was screwing around on Instagram most of the time. So maybe that's why I didn't think it was that great, because it was good though, and it's a really good, solid show. And I hope that if and when the Fox deal goes through, that Disney lets them continue that show, because it is superb and you should definitely check it out. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm caught up on, I think, and it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, they're okay. They're very okay. It's a very okay show. Like, they're in space. There's Kree. It's in the future. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. But it's interesting because you know what it actually seems a lot like? It has a very Doctor Who feel, especially right now. Very Doctor Who feel. So if you like Doctor Who, you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Marvel stuff, maybe you'll like this season. It seems all right. So it's interesting. I don't know. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I've been watching that. She's so adorable, and that show's just so funny and clever, and it just has Tina Fey all over it and all in it because it's so her humor. It's just, I love it. It's brilliant and so funny and just adorable and fantastic. And it's just like, go ladies, you know, just chicks are so awesome. So hopefully that's, yeah, whatever. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and jump into these books. Okay. And oh yeah, one thing I missed is 1 minute. If it's just me reviewing it, 2 minutes. If there's two of us, obviously there's just me, unless I can figure out how to multiply myself, like multiple man. And then, oh yeah, spoiler alert. So, you know, there's going to be at least minor spoilers. I'm going to try not to spoil a lot. Unless I don't like the book, then I'll just spoil it because so you don't have to waste your money on it. And that's it. And then probably for Runner Up and Bebout, I will spoil those the most, but not until the end, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into these books. JD actually ordered these books. So yeah. Anyways, I have Archie number 26. It is a story by Mark Waid, art by Audrey Mock, colors by Kelly Fitzpatrick, lettering by Jack Morelli. So Veronica is upset with Archie because he said something and it made it sound like they were cheating, like him and Betty were cheating behind her back, but it was actually they were talking about Betty's mom. So that's what it was actually about. And so it's just them keeping this secret, you know, that they're meeting up and stuff and people helping them. But it's also about Dalton Doily, who they had a little fling before she got hurt. And so he finally goes, you know what? He talks to some people, he commits, and he's like, all right, I'm going to follow through with this. Hey, let's be a couple. We should go forward with this. And I think it's one of those things that's going to work out perfectly where he's going to step in and then Archie's going to take a few steps back. But you're also getting this thing that's going on where they do have feelings for each other.
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back.
Not just Dalton Doily and Betty, but Betty and Archie, they have feelings for each other. So they have to make a choice, both of them, of who they want to be with. And it's a really good issue. And I don't know, man. I like it because it seems so real, because very many times in life, personally, you are set up with this choice of this girl or this girl, this guy or this guy. Not so much guys for me, but, you know, like it happens. And so it's very #relatable, whether you're a guy or a girl. So, yeah. And it looks phenomenal. It's just great. It's Mark Waid. You know, strong buy. Contender. Gets you in the heart. Onto the next book. It is Batman White Knight. Number 3 of 8. It's $3.99. We have Sean Murphy with Matt Hollingsworth. Sean Murphy does the art. He also does the writing. Matt Hollingsworth, I believe, does colors. And so this one you have the kind of like the movie Harley Quinn or the new Harley Quinn in the comics. She's like rearming up. And then like you have these baddies and they're wrecking this area, and then Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl show up and they distract them and stuff. And Batman's like, oh yeah, we're gonna take them to this area because he won't let them destroy his library, you know. And but he's wrong, and Dick calls him out on being wrong. And this is all kind of, but it's still part of his plan to just get sympathy. It's crazy though, because Bruce is messed up. He shows up. Alfred is on. He's actually in the hospital himself. And Alfred does something very selfless. I mean, it's Alfred. Come on. You know, like, what do you expect? So, and then Barbara, Babs, and Dick, they're like, hey, we need to do something about Bruce. He's kind of unhinged. He's going crazy. And, you know, you have Harley Quinn, and she's getting to the bottom of who's controlling everything, which is not everything, but to a certain degree, which you saw in the last issue. It's the guy with the hat, you know, and stuff. So I'm interested to see what comes next. This is the book that has surprised me quite a bit, where it's throwing some twists and turns, and I like that. It's fantastic for that reason, and it looks phenomenal. And yeah, it's really great when you can get a good, solid writer that is great at art. Like, well, he's actually, I think he's mainly an artist, and he's knocking out on the writing. So yeah, I'm going to give this one. It looks so great, and it was so well done. I'm going to give it a strong buy. Now I'm going to do Spider-Man number 235 with Brian Michael Bendis as the writer, Oscar Bazoldua as the artist, Brian Reber as the colorist, Corey Petit as lettering. And so you have this new crew, this Sinister Six Reborn, and they're like, hey, we're going to steal a helicarrier. And Sandman's like, I'm not on board for this. We're going to get in trouble. I'm not part of this. Like, you know, we're all desperate and stuff. And then they all prove him like how easy it is. They're like, S.H.I.E.L.D's not here. We can do this, you know. And then here's their little guy that they have. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, so he's the catch. There's a Hulk guarding it and stuff. And then, yeah, so then you have Spidey, or you have Miles, and he's just doing his thing without the suit and stuff. And then it gets back to real stuff, and you have some other things going on. You have Bombshell, and she wants to have a chat with Miles, but they clarify, like, hey, she sees you as a brother, not a relationship thing. So this is not a relationship, like, doesn't have the hots for you. And essentially she just wants help. That's pretty much it. So I will say that I might have to get rid of these digital codes another way, because of the fact that some of them are hard to get off. Sometimes it's just hard to get off, you know. It takes a little longer than others. But yeah, this one was good. It looks solid. It's really great. I will say, though, that like Bendis' stuff is really, really stretched out. And he takes his time, and there's a lot of talky. And I like that, but I think it might be better in trade. So still a strong buy, though. Still a strong buy. Here's digital code. 9, W for Wilson. 8, M for Miles. Another M for Miles. N for Nova. G for Gene. I know Genki. C for Chameleon. 9. E for Elon. Is that a 0? I think it's, or is it an O? O for Oscar, and K for Killer. Alrighty, on to Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 148, Infinity Quest. Writer, Gary Dugan. Artist, Marcus Toe. Color artist, Ian Herring. Lettering, Corey Petit. So yeah, this one starts with the end of the last one, and they're like, what are we going to do with this plan, with this idea or whatever? And they figure out a plan to essentially just go back to the way it was. Hey, there's nothing there. That's it. That's what they report. Then it's funny because like they've all infiltrated this, but like Drax is the only one. They're like, hey, Drax, you're not fooling anybody. We know it's you. And he's like, all right, then you guys better keep your crap together. And they're like, oh, well, you're not going to kill us because we know that you're on like this no killing thing. And he's like, yeah, I did say I wouldn't kill, but that doesn't mean I can't hurt you. And you see some of these Ultron people, some of these Ultrons have fused with people, and it's made them actually better. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I really like this arc with Drax where he's kind of going back. He's still violent, but not the way he was before, and he doesn't kill. So yeah, but there is like some things that they're not completely, you know, they're not completely like copacetic, I guess. I don't know, because he's like not all him. He's not all there. You know, like his soul is still kind of a little lost, you know. And this is one of those codes that the thing is just not coming off. So I may have to give this one at a different time or in a different way. Sorry, but yeah, this one was really enjoyable. It has heart, and it's really great. Like it's mostly a Drax issue. It was I like the way they do, like they're focusing on different characters or character in each one, but they still have all the characters usually in each issue, so it flows pretty well. So this is a strong buy. I also got Black Lightning Cold Dead Hands #2. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and it is done by people that don't have credits at the beginning of their book, because that's how DC likes to roll. So anyways, yeah, we have him, and he's dealing with this gang of like thugs that call themselves the Weathermen. They have guns that, you know, have different weather. He stops them and stuff. The police. He's on the lam, as they say, and so they chase him down, and he's running for it. And then there's, you know, they go into this other guy that used to be a bad guy, and now he's a good guy, and he actually trained him and stuff. And then he's talking to this lady who's actually a detective, and she's like, you know, you're making things harder for me. And then they go into the school and how like they eat like natural food and stuff, and like local food, because they donate it. They donate it to the school, and that's why they're like they eat healthy and stuff like that. And then he gets a tip that there's like a drug dealer at the school and stuff, and he's like, well, I could take him down myself, but then that would make things suspicious. So I'm going to give this one up to the police, but I think things turn for the worse, so he has to kind of get involved.
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say.
But now anybody can buy these guns. So there's people that are like, we need these guns to protect ourselves because it's getting crazy out there. And then that's always leads to bad. It always leads into some bad stuff. So yeah. Tony Isabella is the writer. Clayton Henry is the artist. Pete Pantazis is the color. Josh Reed is the letterer. So yeah, this one, it wasn't bad. It was a little oddly done. I don't know, just the way they went about it. It just felt a little, I don't know, it just felt a little clunky or something. I don't know. It was just, so yeah, I'm going to give this one a buy. Gosh. Captain America, 696. We have Mark Waid and Chris Samney as storytellers. Color artist is Matthew Wilson. So in other words, like Mark Waid, of course he works with Chris Samney, but like Mark Waid is the main writer, and then Chris Samney is the artist. But yeah, that's how they roll. He rolls up into a new town. He's even talking to the gay friend and stuff, and he's just trying to keep it low. And he's like, hey, you know, rolls into this diner. And he's like, I don't have any money, but I'll, you know, work for you. I'll do some dishes or something just so I can have a, you know, a light meal and stuff. And he's like, nope, nope, nope. Small town, you know. He's like, nope, Captain doesn't do that here. And then they find out that he's there. You know, the news finds out. And they broadcast it, and then it turns out the swordsman is in town, but it's a different swordsman. He's like, I gotta live up. I think he's like, I gotta live up to the name. So he tries to destroy this dam that is near the city, and they're like, yeah, if I release this dam, it's gonna kill everybody here. And so it's really intense. Captain America fights him off and stuff, and does his thing. It is really intense. It gets really close, and yeah, it is freaking insanely good. That's the thing is, Mark Waid, Chris Samney, storytellers hand in hand to the bone, because honestly, this is one of those books that the art does a lot of the storytelling. I mean, Chris Samnee's that kind of artist that he's that skilled, and I love his old school style. It's so good. It's so touching. Good story, but I'm ready. I like these shorties and I like these one shots, but I'm ready for like a big overarching thing. And I get why they did this, because it's like, hey, it's only second issue of these two guys, so give them some time, and then boom, they're gonna jump into one. So yeah, strong buy and a contender. Holding on to this digital code. Next, I have Superman 36, which is picking up where it was before. We have Patrick Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi writing, Doug Mahnke as artist, Mendoza as inker, or Mahnke. Doug Mahnke is, I believe, penciler. Then Mendoza is the inker, and then Will Quintana is colors. And oh my gosh, it looks so freaking good. And I like this style. I feel like is slightly different for the regular Doug Mahnke art, but there's just like this all-out battle. You know, everybody granny goodness, I want to say, or something like that, and her Furies, and then you have Calabac, and you have the Hellhounds being led by Jonathan Superboy, and you know, Superman and Lois are fighting, you know, not each other, but you know, these people and stuff. Granny Goodness, Calabac are fighting. It looks so cool. It looks so intense. But eventually the Prophet does come, and they like give into the will of Superman. Essentially, they're like, we will do whatever it is required for you to lead here. And he's like, he finally decides, okay, fine, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it my way, with hope and love and everything like that. And so he creates this new system of like governors and giving the people hope and everything like that. And they're like, you know, we need to keep in communication with you. And then like Luthor, he tears Luthor a new one, and Luthor's like, all right, screw you then, I'm done with the ass. You know, all you've done is give me crap since I've had it, instead of, you know, giving me the benefit of the doubt. So now he's without the shield, and so I'm wondering what kind of stuff he's going to get into. So yeah. Yeah. So Doug Mahnke also did inks on Rob Leo's letter. So yeah, phenomenal issue. It wrapped up really well. I really like how it went. It was really quick how they explained that whole thing, but I think they have other things on their plate coming up. So I think that's why they kind of rushed that part, but it didn't feel too rushed. So yeah, this is definitely a strong buy and a contender. Now on to the Avengers. 674 Worlds Collide, number 5. Writer Mark Waid, artist Jesus Saiz, letter Croix Petit. And so they're just going deeper and deeper into this Counter-Earth, and even like Vision is telling Viv like, hey, you know, this is a long drop. I think you should stop here. And she's like, I'm not going, you know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going with you guys. And that's that and stuff. So it is kind of funny. They're like, oh, well, since the Flyers need to carry or fly everybody down there. And then, you know, they fight more of these creatures and stuff. And but then we have Vision, who's pretty much turned into a human, it appears. And she has a talk with the son of the High Evolutionary, and he explains that he is the biggest failure of the High Evolutionary because he could not get rid of the compassion that he has for the Animen, for these creatures that he felt were failed. And so now he's protecting this thing down there, and he decides to break it and help them. But then
Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth.
Somebody out of nowhere attacks him, and then like that's the end of that. Like there's no ceasefire, there's no like, hey, we made a mistake, nothing. And it just seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed a little, I don't want to say weak, but it just, that one definitely was like, I get it, but I don't get it at the same time, you know? just the way they went about it. It was just odd. So yeah. I'm not. This is another one I'm having problems with, the digital code not coming off. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. The ending is pretty crazy, but it's the kind of ending that they show you the teaser for the next Champions book, and it's like, oh, okay, so this thing that happened didn't happen, or it's not concluded. It's going to be, maybe it will be concluded. So we'll see. Yeah, that's definitely not the end of one of the characters. I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, it's really good. I just kind of, they specifically wrote it this way so that this person would have to make this sacrifice, and that's that, like 100%. And it felt a little, just a tad forced. So I give it a strong buy. Now I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Invasion of the Triceratons Part 2. It's issue 77, $3.99. Story Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Script Tom Waltz. Art Damien Cusiero. Colors Rhonda Pattison. Letters Sean Lee. So this one is another one that pretty much picks up where it left off. We have Splinter, and they have chained down, him and the Foot have chained down this Triceraton general, and then the Triceraton general is like, we have the high ground, you know, and calls down the rest of the soldiers, and it just turns into this huge battle, and they make a run underground into the subways, essentially, and then the Turtles don't even know what's going on, even though they've been watching pretty much the whole time, just because of like the smoke bombs and the smoke and the confusion, everything like that. Then they go to the lab with April and Baxter's like sending his flyborgs to get more information. And it just seems like the Turtles are really out of the loop, even though they were there. You have Splinter, he interrogates this guy and is like, hey, we should work together to stop these Triceratons because it ruins my plans for the city. And I'm like, what kind of plans you've got for the city that you do some crazy stuff going on, you know? But the Turtles do meet up with Triceratons at the very end, so hopefully we can get it all cleared up in the next issue, but I think things might be too far gone by now. So, yeah. It's intense. It's fantastic. It's good. It's twists and turns and all that greatness. I like it a lot. So I go to strong buy. I go to contender. But you should know that if you know me. Might be new though. Alrighty, this is a book. I don't know. Iron Fist number 75. Sabretooth round 2. Even though last issue seemed more like round 2. Ed Brisson is the writer. Mike Perkins is the artist. Andy Troy color artist. Travis Lanham is the letterer. We have this all-out fight with the Constrictor, his new crew, or with the Serpent Society, this new Constrictor with Serpent Society, as well as Choshin and his crew, you know, Sabretooth, and they're like, hey, they're stealing his book and stuff, and he's like, hey, I want my book, I gotta get my book, you know, and stuff. And then they also, like, Constrictor's messed up, and they find out that he's actually the son and stuff, and he did it like as a FU to his old man because he was never around and just wanted to kind of like do a better job and stuff of it. And then the Choshin, he finds a way to use the book, which is pretty crazy. And then we have all this stuff leading up to Kunlun. So yeah, that was intense, and that was freaking awesome. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. I honestly skimmed this when I was at the comic book shop, and I was like, how are they gonna do this? So yeah, I just skimmed it, and I was like, okay, they revealed the identity of Constrictor. Not only that, then they go to Kunlun. I saw them in Kunlun, and I was like, oh my god, I have to check this out because it's Kunlun, right? Like, it's a big deal. Like, we've been leading up to this, and which kind of goes like, if they use the book to get there, then why couldn't you do it? So I don't know. But yeah, so I'm definitely interested to see how things go down now that they're finally there. Even though this isn't like the greatest book, but it's not bad. It has really good, like, this is a book that's very good at being a comic book in issues. Because, and I bet it would be good in trade too, because it has a very good beginning, middle, and end where you go, okay, this is how it starts. This is the middle piece. And then the ending piece goes like, oh, hey, here's the cliffhanger, you know, and that's how it should be, is like, hey, picks up where it left off pretty much, introduces like something new and different than the last issue, and then ends with something like, oh my gosh, I have to get that next issue. And they do a good job of that. So I will give them a strong buy for that. And I'll also give the digital code because I was able to get this one off. F for fist, Z for zebra, M for Mankey, 4-8, E for Elon, P for pound, Q for quaint, H for hotel, N for Nova, Y for yank, K for kill. Now I have another Batman and Ninja Turtles book, which is Batman Ninja Turtles 2, number 1 of 6, and it's $3.99. It's DC Comics and IDW coming together. You have James Tynion IV as the writer, and then you have Freddie Williams II as the artist, same as the last one, and then colors Jeremy Caldwell, letters Tom Napolitano. And so we have the Ninja Turtles. They're in this, they're in this sewer. They're in this tunnel. They have a fight with the Foot Clan. They have like this elite Foot Clan that's starting their own thing. And Donnie has all this tech for himself mostly, but also for his brothers. And they attack him. These elite ninja attack him. And his tech doesn't work, but it's also brand new, so he hasn't really tested it out. And so these elite foot ninja get the upper hand on him, and so they're about to take him out, and then his brothers show up, and he's like, oh, I'm the runt, I'm weak, because that's what they call him and stuff. Not the turtles, but these, the Foot and stuff, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, well, what about Batman? Batman's really smart, and he has all this tech, but he also is great at fighting. So I want to know how he does it. I need to contact him and talk to him, and stuff. And he's like, oh, I need to get his signature. And then they have like an old switcheroo because, yeah. So it's there's one of a big baddie from DC has gone into the Ninja Turtles world, and then Donnie is now in the Batman world. So yeah, it's really awesome. It's really cool. It looks great. I love it. I like this artist a lot. I wish he was in comics more, but I love this stuff. And perhaps this is what he's been working on all year long because it looks superb. Yeah, definitely a strong buy and definitely contender. You add Batman and Ninja Turtles, I am DTF, down to fund this book. Now it is time for a commercial break, and it is time to talk about my pals over at Age of Comics, which I have to apologize to all of you and them as well, because I have like a little soundbite from them that I put in for the commercial break, and I totally spaced that in that soundbite it's their old address in there, and I could have just put in the address like with my own audio, but I didn't think about that until now. So, but their new address, their new location is 3700 Osuna Road Northeast, Suite 513, Albuquerque, New Mexico 87109. So it's like if you're going south on whatever that frontage road is, you could always take a left onto San Mateo, or you could take a right onto Osuna because it's weird like that. And so you just take that right and keep on going down that way. And then there's like all these businesses, like this strip mall almost, or a strip with all these businesses, and it's on that side. It's on the left side, on the south side. So that's where it is, which is also near Just Cause Cosplay. So if you're going to cosplay, you can get comics. You know, it works out great. You can do both. Something I need to do. You can call Age of Comics at 505-884-1776 for any of your comic book needs. Those guys are, I would say, like the most hardcore comic book guys I know, because like they have so many classic issues. In fact, I think they have like some comic they said is worth like $1 million or a few million. I don't know, it's crazy. So, and then because they have the boat, and they specifically like brought those comics out like for their special event for their grand reopening, and then they took them back like to the bank or whatever for the safety deposit box, I think, or something like that. They have to use like a signature, it's an eye scan, all kinds of crazy stuff. You do a voice activation. It's very complicated. But anyways, you know what's not complicated? Any business or interactions with them. They have a website you can go to, Age of Comics, and you can get classic comics, like I said, new comics, graphic novels, Funko Pops, figurines. They also have pinball machines, so that's a good reason to go over there, play their pinball machine. I want to say it's SpiderMan or it's something. I'm pretty sure it's like Marvel related. Yeah, and so their hours are 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are some sweet hours for them. But yeah, the 11 is when most comic book shops open. But yeah, so check them out. Great place, you know, and they're just phenomenal guys to talk to and chat with. I always talk to them about the movies, shows, comics. Like they're always up to date. They always have great suggestions on what's good, what's not. And they'll be straight up with you, like, hey, what do you think of this book? And they're like, oh, it's not that great. They're honest about it, and I love that. Honesty to me is a core, you know, and that's why I love doing business with those guys. They're good, honest guys. So yeah, check them out. And they do post a video of what they got new every week on their Facebook. I believe they also have an Instagram, I want to say, and a Tumblr. I mean, I don't know about a Tumblr, but Twitter for sure. So make sure you check them out, especially on Facebook. Give them a like. Go check them out. You know, get comics and stuff like that. And it's like the more you get from them, the bigger a discount you get, like for subscriptions. So that's why I get such a great discount, because I order so many books from them. But yeah, and get a lot of graphic novels. But yeah, so go over there, check it out. I want to get back to books with Astonishing XMen number 6. We have Charles Soule as the writer, Mike Del Mundo as the artiste. And so it's, you know, this guy, he's like, oh, I got it. I got the win, you know. I got this win. The Shadow King's like, I beat you, Xavier. And Xavier's like, oh, really? Well, you know, while you're so busy winning, I devised a secret little plan for my X-Men to kick your butt. So, and I specifically picked these warriors because they have traits that are going to throw you off of your game and can adapt to your game and everything like that. So that's Marco Di Alfonso also helped with colors. And yeah, so it's epic and it's a pretty awesome conclusion. It was a great lead up. We've had this going on for a while, but that's not it, because there's still the infected ones, the people that are infected with, like, he hasn't controlled them, but they're still like they're still somehow, yeah, it's just crazy. And so, oh yeah, the involvement of Archangel, and then there's some other crazy revelations too at the end, and that's what I'm really jacked off about. I'm really jacked off about the ending, because it's kind of something that I've had in my own head for a while, sort of, not exactly, but similar. So we'll see how it goes. Next, see, and this is what I'm talking about, is this was a great conclusion, but it also gets me really excited for the next issue because of the way that it ends, even though it's like something huge but small at the same time. So I give it a strong buy. I give it a contender, and you can have the digital code. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marco, 6, J for Josefina, B for Barrio, H for Hector, X for Xavier, J for Josefina, and Z for Zorro. Oh, here's that other Bat book. It's Batman, number 36, $2.99. Gotta love this new logos that they have right now that DC is doing. It's a very classic, very old school. We have Tom King as the artist, Tom King as the writer, Clay Mann as the artist, Seth Mann helping out, I think, and then we have Jordi Belair as colors, and it starts with Superman. He's talking to Lois Lane. Lois Lane is like, "Hey, Batman's engaged. You should give him a call." And he's like, "Well, he didn't call me. You know, he has this stuff going on." She's like, "Oh, he'll call." And Batman's like, "I don't know why I have to call him. You know, he's talking to Catwoman, and he's like tracking down somebody. You know, and Catwoman's like, 'Hey, we're partners. You know, we do this together.'" And then it's like a couple weeks later, and Lois is like, "Did you call him?" And he's like, "No, I'll call him, okay." So he's like, "Fine." And then even them, they're like, "Come on, I know his secret, you know." And Lois is like, she knows people's secrets. She's a thief, you know, and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, but she's a thief, you know. I don't really want her hanging around us and stuff. Like, that doesn't seem right." And it's like, come on, you know. You're friends with shadier people and stuff, and this is your closest friend, and it's just this back and forth that just works out brilliantly, verbally and visually, and just at the end just comes around in a perfect way that makes you wish that there was like a Batman Superman book, because it's pretty much what this is. So it's a strong buy, and it's a contender. I have Black Bolt, number 8. Writer is Saladin Ahmed. Artist and cover artist Christian Ward. This is another book I skimmed, and I was like, okay, this art just looks so amazing. It's just phenomenal. Anyways, they get to Earth, and the New Attilan, you know, I want to say queen, but I'm more like president. She's president, and she's like, "Hey, you know, we're taking you in and stuff." And because they think that he is actually Maximus and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, don't let him do this, you know, he's attacking us." And then it's crazy because even like, so he's kind of lost his voice, but he doesn't want to use his voice. You know, I mean, he's lost his voice, but he can't communicate, you know, verbally, obviously. But like, yeah, it's weird because he has this weird interaction with his son, and his son is like thrown off by it even because he's actually showing affection and stuff. But they also have this mission to go tell Absorbing Man's wife, Titania, I think, that
Robin Hood and Little John
he's gone. So they have that going on. It just looks so good, and this is just the way that this plays out is just so phenomenal. I really like this, and yeah, especially because like his son is like, "Oh, so you adopted this kid, but you couldn't treat me decently," and because of that journey that he was on, Black Bolt, he's like so regretful of the time that he didn't spend with his son and just the way that he treated his son. So he shows that affection. It's a great book. So yeah, this is a strong buy. This is a contender. I don't know if I should give the little card away, but I'm going to. 8, P for Pablo, C for Carlos, 1, Y for Yucca, H for Hector, 9, Q for Quintana, H for Hector, 2, P for Pedro, 4. All right, on to Green Lanterns, number 36. It's $2.99, and we have Tim Seeley as the writer, Ronan Cliquette as the artist. Hi-Fi does colors. And so this is continuing with, I believe it's the second part. Yeah, it's the second part. Oh, Bolfunga, where art thou? Part 2. And so his lawyer shows up, and devours this like space RV that they have, or that he had, and she's actually there to take him in to kill Bolfunga and stuff, because like he didn't make a deal with her, and like I don't know, she has like some crazy thing going on, and it was I don't know, they didn't even really fully explain it, and that was the thing that was the weakest. But there's like they kind of go into her powers, but I know they're gonna get back to it because she like this deal she had. It is, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like it's followed through with somebody in this book. But so she leaves, but they're also like she's most wanted because she attacked them, and like just her power set and just the way she is like is really dark and messed up. And it does take Jessica to a very dark place that we actually haven't seen, I don't think, which is when her friends were killed and she almost got killed too. But then Simon helps her out. So it was really crazy. It was really good. Really well done. Like I said, there's a little confusion, but I know that they're going to get back to this character again, which is this like lady that just like, they're like, she's a black hole, you know, like just sucks in and stuff. So yeah. Yeah. So strong by. Strong by. Ooh. Now I have Iceman, number 8. Sina Grace is the writer. Robert Gill is Yash. Rachel Rosenberg as the colorist. We have Iceman 616 and Iceman not, well, I guess 616 as well, but young Iceman, current Iceman, I guess. And so they're fighting, and I think they're taking down, gosh, what's the flame guy? What's the flamethrower guy? I forget his name. I know he's Australian. So they deal with him, and they're attacking, and they're chatting, and they're like, hey, you know, my parents, they know about you, or our parents, my parents know about you, so they want to have dinner with us. And then they keep on flashing to this stuff that's going on with Dakin, where it's just like essentially him being a douche. And then they do have this family thing. And it's funny because young Bobby, he's so nervous. He's all iced. He can't ice down or, you know, whatever. And so they're trying to crack the ice. But it's not working out. It's making him more nervous because the parents are like, oh, you can come live with us and everything will be great. They kind of want to like fix what they did wrong with him, because they're like, oh, he's gay, so maybe we can make him not gay. And it's just one of those things that turns out to be like he makes a stand, you know, and they make a stand together. It just, oh man, this book is so good. Just the way that it went, man. Any issues that I have for like previous issues are dealt with. And oh my God, this book is just so good and just so well done. Like the writing is just magnificent. It's so good. In fact, I listened to an interview with him on Women of Marvel podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts because it's Women of Marvel. So yeah. And but yeah, they interviewed Sina Grace and talked to him, and it was a really great interview. So you should check it out. So yeah, anyways, this was a phenomenal book. This is strong buy. This is Contender, and this is a book that the code I'm going to hold on to until the end, at least. Now I have Green Arrow 35. It's $3.99. I guess this is a monthly now, so they have a digital code inside at the end. But yeah, so it is still Benjamin Percy as the writer. We do have Juan Ferreira back as the artist. And as always, like his art is just beautiful and glorious and magnificent. But we have this story, you know, like I love the narration, the way it's done, because it is Ollie and he's like, you know, to me, death isn't about this being, you know, it's not about like this hot heat, you know, to me, hell is the water, the depths of water where it's cold and it's dark and it's murky and it's drowning and everything like that. And that's what a lot of his existence has been. And he goes with his mom to the Descent, this place where like the Ninth Circle thing was crashed, and so they're going to recover money and information, and they have to split up. And that doesn't go well because, of course, he shouldn't even be trusting his mom because she's part of Ninth Circle. But he does because, hey, it's mom, who doesn't have a weakness for their mom, And but they also show some other stuff going on with this police officer and this dirty cop, I'll say. And yeah, it's one of those things that it doesn't really go well for a lot of people in this. And but I love but once again, I love Black Canary, and so she's always on top of it. So yeah. I love her. So I give this one a strong buy. I give this one a strong buy and a contender. Really well done. Looks phenomenal. Next book is Darth Vader, number 9. Charles Soule is the writer. Giuseppe Camuncoli is the pencils. Daniele Orlandini is inks. David Curiel as colors. So, yes, we have, Vader, and he's investigating whatever's going on here. We have the Inquisitor, and he's facing off against Joe Costanew, and he's doing a decent job, but he lets he lets her get the better of him a little bit. But it's kind of like more so because of Vader. Like, Vader interrupts, and Vader is like, we're going to do this my way, and he doesn't want to. And then so she's able to make like a little quick getaway and do her thing, which is very unfortunate because it means a loss of information. And it's crazy because there's revelation of like, oh, hey, this droid knows that it's Anakin. And now Joe Costanew knows it's Anakin. And like, I just love just the
Robin Hood and Little John Walker.
The dialogue in this, or some of the narration in it from Joe Costanew, and lightsaber. I'm just gonna say lightsaber. It looks like a lightsaber rifle. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy. It's intense. Love this book. It's so good. It's so Vader, and I love the way they're doing it. So strong buy. This is a contender. Here's digital code. F for Falcon. Z for, I don't know, Zangief. M for Millennium. 3. Z for Zangief. W for Wank. P for Pain. Y for Yank. 8. A for Alpaca. And 3. I'm sorry, I'm not as good as JD. Now I have this book that my wife, she always picks up these random indie books and gives them to me to read. And so this is one of them. It's called Dark Fang. It is an Image book. It's a first issue. The writers, Miles Gunter, artist Kelsey Shannon, letter Taylor Esposito. And essentially it starts off as about like the cam chat rooms or whatever, and this vampire lady who figures out what they're about, and she's like, oh, I need money, and I can cam to get all the money that I want. And then she scams these dudes too to get more money, because she can also control them because she has vampire powers. And so she's able to control them and like get all their money and all this other stuff. And so she gets like this castle that is the castle of Dracula. The art is very like cartoony though, and it is also very like sexual, and there's not nudity, but it's like almost nudity, or like it's just like, like silhouettes, and it's just like, or it's not defined. And it's also talking about like how when she was turned into a vampire, and then she ventured from like I don't know, from one country to another country through the water, and how like she was friends with the animals, or from the fish, but then someone killed the fish, and stuff, and then like her coming to, was it to America or what was it? I don't know. And like now she's getting vampire teeth. I don't know. This is weird. It was weird. And because it's like, okay, it's cartoony, so it's a little light, but it's dark, so it's like a light spin on a dark topic. And it's, I don't know, it's interesting, but it's weird. You know, it gives you like a semi-chub in here. But yeah, I'll probably check out the second issue just to give it a chance, because that's how I usually roll. It's not bad. Definitely not bad. It's just I'm not sure if it's worth jumping on board for completely. So yeah, I'm going to give it, I'll give it, I don't know, a strong buy? I'll give it a buy. Now I have X-Men Gold number 17. It is Negative Zone War Part 2. Writer Mark Guggenheim. Artist Ken Lashley. Colorist Juan Fernandez. Queer petite letter. So yeah, they're all in these suits because they're in the future, I think now, right? Or like they're supposed to travel. Yeah, they're supposed to travel to somewhere, to some dimension. And like Logan, the old man Logan, OG Logan, as I like to call him, he's not. Oh yeah, to this other like planet or whatever. There's space outfits, and like, yeah, you have to use them. Kitty Pryde has been captured. Nightcrawler's been captured. Nightcrawler is like, I've been in places where I don't know where I am before, and you know, if I teleport out, I could teleport into a wall. You know, we've heard that one before. You know, and Kitty, like, she's like, I don't know, they have her like chained and dealing with something that, so that she can't. They're attacking this planet, you know, because they just took her and stuff. And then this guy's like, well, you know, how long were you gonna keep me there? And he's like, well, they were like, well, you wouldn't talk to us, so we couldn't communicate with you, you know, so we didn't know what you had in mind and what was going on. But then they're recruited by these other people that are like, we need your help, you know, to take this guy down and stuff. And then Nightcrawler makes the tough decision. And it's crazy. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. Indeed. I like it a lot. It's really good. It's really interesting. I like it. You know, this one focuses quite a bit on Nightcrawler, and he's my favorite mutant, and one of my favorite characters of all time. So strong buy and a contender. But I will give the digital code away. P for Pietro, 9, N for Nova, 0, X for X-Men, L for Logan, U for Ultron, Q for Quill, X for X-Men, O for Oscar, 5, P for Pietro. Ooh, time for some dick with Nightwing number 34. This is $2.99. And I did forget something. This is written by Tim Seeley. Javier Fernandez is the artist. Chris Sotomayor is colors. Then we have Carlos M. Mangual as letters. And so we have this girl. We have what's her name? She's the spray, you know, girl, and she's, you know, like, she's using this serum or whatever, this spray serum, to turn people that have Hulk busted out or busted, you know, and so she's changing them back. We have this flashback to Raptor when he's young, and to Dick's mom and stuff, this conversation, and this fight that is just epic with Dick. But it's so crazy because, like, Dick is, like, he just will not give up on people. He just is giving way too many opportunities to Raptor. It's just so crazy. But there's people that he's with that aren't in the same situation. And so that's good. People that will watch his back. Like, I think it's Trapster, that girl that he used to date, that he used to be with and stuff. And that's the other thing too, is like, he's like, I'm done, I'm beat. And his girl's like, we have to do this. and Raptor goes after his chick, and he digs deep and he takes him down. It's so freaking awesome. It's so freaking epic. Defacer, that's her name. Defacer. And so, yeah, it's a great conclusion, and I'm wondering if things are going to work out with him and the ex, if they're going to get back together. Because I love that drama. I love the relationship stuff. Like, for me, I love this slow stuff. This works for me perfectly. That's another reason why I don't mind the Bendis stuff. But I love Dick, and I love his Dick relationships and everything like that. So I'm invested. I'm down for more, and I really like the way this one handled, and it looks so good. Yeah, it was just so well done. Once again, I love when they go into psychology. They really get inside of each other's heads, Raptor and Nightwing. So yeah, another one, strong by contender. Last book, it's Cyborg, number 19. This is $3.99. It does have a digital comic. Kevin Graveau is the writer. Cliff Richards is art. Ivan Nunez is the colorist. Rob Lay is letterer. I didn't realize that this was a different writer, but yeah, we have a different writer. And so they found this this meteor, and it has diamonds in it. And they're like, this is unlike any meteor ever before, but it has some weird radiation. And so then they're in an African country. And so these guys go to take the diamonds and stuff. And then the kids are like, apparently it has to do with this rhinoceros horn that's it's not haunted. It's like you can get 3 wishes, kind of like a genie, but there's a twist to it. There's an equal good and bad to it. Like the little kid that made the wish for the meteor, all his friends died, I think, from the radiation. And so, but it's this guy, this leader of this gang that is making them make these wishes so that he can get what he wants, the riches. But he's turning these kids into his soldiers. And so he forces this kid to make a wish. And Cyborg makes a wish too, to turn himself into human. So now he's feeling the effects of being human in this jungle. So which is bad. And so yeah, it's crazy. I'm interested to see, it's going to be one of those stories going to realize that being cyborg is better than being human, because he does a lot of good and everything like that. And so it's just you have to make that sacrifice. And that's what we'll find out. That's what we'll figure out as this story continues. I liked it a lot. It was really interesting. I really like stuff like this, otherworldly things. Those are the things that I really like. Not when it's always in New York City, or some other place that is near New York City, or why does it always have to be in the States, why can it be in different states too? But yeah, so yeah, I like this one a lot. It was well done. I give it a strong buy. I give it a contender, but I will give the digital code away. I have DC for Detective Comics 917, L for Lex, X for X-Ray 8, D for Dane, Q for Quilt 0, X for X-Ray, and W for Winter. All right, that's it. It's time for me to announce my back and bag of the week. There is some great stuff here. There is a code that I actually forgot to read off. As good as it was, I will give it away, which is Green Arrow number 35. Here's the digital code. DC for Detective Comics 917, C for Calvin 0, J for Jack 1, B for Bones or Bane, P for Pain, V for Villain, and then Z for Zach. All right. So yeah. So that being said, that's obviously not a runner-up or B-Bell right now. There are so many good books. That Batman was freaking classic. It's so good. That's such a great Batman Superman issue. So cool, so well done. But it always comes down for a few for me. I love my Dick. So that was a close one for me. But what it really comes down to is Captain America 696 is going to be my runner-up. Like I said, I'm ready for a full-blown, like, throw me into a story arc. I like these side things, but the fighting was really well done, and I just love it. This is the perfect team for it. But I'm ready to go into a story arc. But it's gonna have to go to Iceman. Yada no. Iceman number 8 is my back and bag of the week. So yeah, it was just funny. It's heartfelt. It's great. It's tough too. When you're in that kind of situation where maybe your parents don't know what's best for you, and like in this situation, he's lived that life that he knows, and he has someone to support him, like the younger Iceman. And so it was great. They think they do, but they may not always do. And so they explain that. He explains that. I just love the way that it goes. And then the relationship stuff too. That was the best part, is that last time my complaint was like, oh, Bobby's going to up and leave the X-Mansion, and he's going to go to the West Coast to go with this guy, and it turns out this guy is a writer. So they're like, hey, you can just do your job from anywhere. So he goes over to the East Coast instead. And I like that a lot better. To me, that worked. And that made me show like how much he cares about Bobby, that he's willing to do that. So I'm going to hold on to these digital codes, and I will try to get rid of these digital codes some way, somehow, because I am not able to get them off right now. So I'll do it one way or another, Success! I know, this is captivating video time right now. But anyways, Avengers number 674. Here's the digital code. F for Finn, Z for Zebra, M for Mankey, 1-8, N for Nova, W for Wesker, C for Cable, T for Toombs, W for Wesker, 60. So enjoy that. And let's see if I can get off the code for this Guardians of the Galaxy. Got it. So it is Guardians of the Galaxy number 148. Here's the digital code. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, and for Marcos, 1-4. B for Barrio Nuevo, N for Nova. Novela? M for Mario, G for Guillermo, 6, B for Barrio Nuevo, and J for Josefina. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Please tell me what your back and bag and runner-up were. Hope you enjoyed these digital comics and everything like that. Tell me what you think of anything that's going on, any shows, movies, whatever. We have whatchamacallit coming up this weekend. Return of, or The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. I'm pretty jacked off about that. So yeah, I kind of want to go as Kylo Ren. I call him Kylo Dog because we're homeboys like that. But yeah. So anyways, that's it for me. I've been working a lot, and I've been shooting a lot and working out a lot. So I have not had a lot of time to work on editing videos. I'm sorry, but that's just how my life has been going. So I have been able to edit too many videos. That's, life finds a way. So that's also why I'm doing this late. But yeah, so thank you for watching, listening, viewing, sharing, please. If you share anything, tell me. I'll hook up you at the digital code. Heck, I'll hook you up with the digital codes that are B-bows if you want, Tell me what you want, and I'll hook you up if you're willing to share us. Share our podcast, share any of our content that is from our website or YouTube. Okay, so which can all be found at TNTMTheShow. That's a website. That's the Facebook. That's the Instagram. That's the Tumblr. That's the Twitter. That's the Tinder. No, not that. YouTube, and all that good stuff. So thank you once again. Talk nerd to me. I'll talk nerd to you. And keep your ohos hungry for comics.